Hello everybody. This video is the last video for Unit 2 Web Development for the HTML section. So this video is going to cover Lesson 9. This is a project where you will build a web page with more than one page and link those pages together. So this lesson covers hyperlinks, which allows web developers to connect pages together into one website. So you're going to take a web page that you've made previously, you're going to create links and navigation bars so you can click and it will allow you to move from page to page within your own pages you've created. Okay, so you need to define what a hyperlink is and what this code is. This is the new code you're going to learn in this lesson. So let's go to code.org and let's get started. A hyperlink is a link from an HTML file to another location or file, typically activated by clicking on a highlighted word or image on the screen. So you know if you click on something, this is a hyperlink, that's a hyperlink. This is a hyperlink. Anything that you can point to and click and it takes you to something else, that is a hyperlink. So you're going to learn how to create those within your website. And this is the code that you're going to use, the anchor tag. So I'm just going to click just to show you. I call them the A tags, HTML A tags. And this is how your A tag is set up. You've got the opening A. Notice it does not have the bracket. You go all the way down to the end, and then it does have the bracket here, and then the text that's going to be displayed, and then the end of the code. Alright, so I'm going to come back to code and we'll click continue. Now this is how your hyperlink is set up. So your tag is here, the A, and this is where it closes or ends, and then you've got the end tag. So basically it's going to be an A, and then you've got some other stuff here, and then you've got that, and then you're closing out your A. So that's how that works. But this is the hyperlink reference. It's kind of like your source tag, your attribute, but this means hyperlink reference. So you're going to add href, and this tells you where the web page is that you want it to go to. So if you want it to go to google.com, you would type in google.com and in quotes. So that's how you create the actual link part. But you need to have text or something to link it to. So if I'm going to Google, then I will just write in Google here. So it takes this word Google right here, and it makes a link. So when I go to click on it, it takes me to google.com. That's how that works. Okay? So basically, number one, the A tag wraps the text that you want to turn into a clickable link. A is short for anchor. Okay, so houses, we want the word houses to be linked. Okay, so you're going to wrap around this word. So again, it would be, go ahead and close out your A tag. And then you would add the rest over here. A, href, equals, and in the quotes, houses.html. Okay, so that's how that works. Let's erase that. Sorry, it's taking so long. Alright, so again, this is number 1 and number 3. So number 1 is your A tag. It is short for anchor, and it turns text into a clickable link. Number 2 is the href attribute, short for hypertext reference, and this determines where your link should go to, so the actual website address. It houses HTML in this case. And then number 3, it closes your end tag. And that's what you're going to do, hyperlink. Continue. Page 3. A website should include more than one web page. And you'll see here we've got 4 web pages: Candy, Index, Juggle, and Recipe. Here's an example of a project with multiple pages that are connected by hyperlinks. The blue underlined words that take you to another page when you click on them. So here, what are hyperlinks? Is anything that you can click on. It'll take you from one place to the next. You've got your anchor tags and the reference tag. And again, it needs to be inside the body. Let's close that out. How do I add a hyperlink? And this tells you how to do that. Alright, so these are the instructions. Use the inspector tool to see the code that creates the hyperlinks on the top of the index HTML. So this is your index. I'm going to click there. I'm going to turn the inspector on, and it says it creates the hyperlinks. So I'm going to point to Scotcheroo's recipe, and you'll see that this is the link that it's the code that goes to that particular link. This is the text, and then you've got all of the other information linked. How to juggle. Fun facts about candy. And then of course is your paragraph and your heading. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Click on Recipe in the files list on the left hand side. Add a hyperlink to the top of this page that will take you back to the index. Okay, so I want it at the top of my page, so I'm going to click above. I'll turn the inspector off. So I'm going to click above the H1, and I'm going to add a blank line, and I'm going to add my anchor tag, and then href. Okay, you'll see it's in this little area, equals. Now where are we sending it to? We want it to link to index, and then we're going to close it. We're going to type in, let's see, index, and then we're going to close the anchor tag. But instead of index, let's call it home, because your index should always be your home page, your very first page. Alright, so we are on recipe, and we have made a link to click home. So now I'm going to try it. I'm going to click home, and it brings me back to my index page. And you'll see if I go to Scotcheroo's, I'm here on the recipe and home. Alright, so that one's done on page 3. Page 4. Now this is part of a larger project, so it's going to pull in what you've already created. Okay. In your home index, I'm going to click on index. You've got to make sure you're on the right one. Add 2 hyperlinks at the top of this page. One to your lists page and one to the home page. Copy the code for that navigation bar and then add it to the top of your list page. Test your links in the preview area by clicking on them. Okay, so I'm in index, and at the top I'm going to make a line, a blank line, and I'm going to create a link to my home page, which I'm already on. So href equals, I want it to go to index, and I want it to say home, and I'm closing it out. So that's my first link. Now this is what I like to do. I'm going to hit the space bar, and I'm going to hold the shift key, and I'm going to press the key right up above the enter key on my keyboard, and it gives me this bar. And then I'm going to hit the space again because I want the words to be spaced out. It's just easier to read. So now what I'm going to do, I've got one link to the home page. I want to make a link to the travels page. So I'm going to do another one. href equals, and I'm going to do travels, close it, and I'm going to do travels. I want it to say travels. Alright, there's my second link. Then you can add more if you wanted to. So I'm going to click on home. Let's refresh and save. I'm going to click home, and it keeps me on this page. I'm going to click travels, and it takes me here to my page. Now how am I going to get back to my index? I need to copy the navigation. So I'm going to come back to index. I'm going to copy these two here. I'm going to copy both of those. These are the two links to home and travels. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go to travels, and at the top I'm going to create the navigation bar. I'm going to add it in, save it. So now when I click home, it takes me home. When I click travels, it takes me here. So now I can navigate back and forth. That's the only thing you needed to do, is add two links to link your web pages together. Of course, yours is going to, the first one should say index home. The second one is going to be different depending on your, depending on the type of page you have. Okay, so I'm done with that one. Let's go to finish. Now you're going to be working on your personal website. So you will be completing and publishing your own website, and you've already done some work in the past. We're just going to add some more things to it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click continue. Okay, before you start coding, you should make sure you have all the pages you need in your project. Create a new HTML page and rename it. Repeat this process for any other pages you want to add. I'm just going to add one more. Okay, so I'm going to add HTML, and I need to give it a name. Never leave it as new-1 or new-2, whatever. I'm going to right click, rename, and favorite TV shows. That's what I'm going to name mine. Enter. So now I have my new page. Okay, let me click finish and see what it tells me on the next one. Alright, I'm going to go back to page 6 as I need to make my page. Okay, so it's create a new HTML page and rename it. Repeat this process for any other pages you want to add. So I'm done with that, but I'm going to go to favorite TV shows, and I'm going to add some things to it. I'm just going to do H1, my favorite TV shows. Close out my H1 tag. And I'm going to do an unordered list. And my first item is going to be Criminal Minds. I love crime shows. I love medical shows too. So I love The Resident. I love LI. Let's see, Chicago Med. And let's see, one more. TWL, The Walking Dead. Okay, I got my list completed, and then I'm going to close out my UL. Okay, so that's my list, and I'm done with that. Okay, so I've created my page, I've renamed it, and then I've actually created my page there. Okay, I'm going to click finish. Page 7. Next, you will need to upload all of your images into your project. So download all the images you want into your computer. Make sure you have the right to use the images. Write down all the attribution information you need, and then you're going to upload all the images into your project. Okay, so I have images on my index and on travel, so I need another image for favorite TV shows. So I'm going to go and try to find something. Creative Commons search. So let's see what I can find. CC search. And let's see. I'm going to Google images, and I want to search for Walking Dead. Let's see if I can find anything I can use. Label for use with modification. Okay, so that's good. Let's see what I can find. I think that's cool with the figurines. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to visit, and I'm going to download this. Now it shows, let's see, free download, and I'm going to small photo, and I'm going to download it. Alright, save it. I'll get to that in a minute. Alright, and my information. Website. Okay, so let's go back here. I'm going to add image. Open. Okay, and then on my favorite TV shows, right up here, below it, I'm going to add an image. IMG SRC equals, and then ALT equals Walking Dead figurines. And then we'll close it, and then slash that. Okay, it's a little bit too large, so I'm going to height equals 250. Oops, it would help if I close it. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, I need to credit my image. Let me get back up here. Okay, I'm going to go to the end. Now I'm going to do a paragraph. And I got, this is Michonne Walking Dead Sword Rick Grimes. I'm just going to put Walking Dead figurines from maxpixels.com, maxpixel.net, net by, who is the photographer or the user. We need a CCO license. I guess those are other images that they've taken. So I don't know who actually. CCO. I can't find the person's name, so I'm going to leave that out. So I'm just going to do, CCO. Close out my paragraph. So now I have my image and I have the credit. Alright, click finish. So you need to do this for yours. Now we're going to add HTML pages for this new pages you created. Alright, we've already done that. If you've done this in the beginning, I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. Now I'm going to do my links and do the navigation bar. You see I've already got home and travels. Now I need to add one to my favorite TV shows. So I'm going to come up here to this link. I'm on index. I'm going to click here, space, I'm going to add that bar again. I'm going to add a link, H equals, I want to go to favorite TV shows, slash, and I'm going to do favorite, bracket, favorite TV shows. And then I'm going to close out my A tag. And now my link, if I click on it, it works. Okay, so I'm going to come back to index and I need to copy this. I'm just going to copy the whole thing and replace what's already been there. So I'm going to copy the whole thing. I'm going to go to travels. We'll highlight this, delete it, and copy over it. So that's travels. Okay. So now I'm going to check it. Index, home, travels, favorite TV shows. Alright, so since we copied it, it all works on each one. Index, travels, and then favorite TV shows. Alright, so I'm done with page 9 because I've got them all linked together. Remember, this is your link. That's how you link it, and then I added that little bar there. Finish. Okay, we're going to publish it a little bit, so this is what we need to do. Check that we are comfortable sharing all the information on your site. Mine's good to go. Check that all of your images are correctly attributed and that you have the right to put them on your site. I did that. Check that your project includes everything, including the project rubric. If you follow this, you should have an image on each page, heading, titles, all that. Use comments and white space to make sure your website is readable. So white space is basically leaving space around so it helps it makes it easier to read your code. So I could separate this out. I can separate my links. I can separate out my headings, and I got the paragraph. I can just make them a little bit better that way. You can indent and move things over. So you got your heading and their image in the paragraph, and you got a heading and a paragraph and so on. So you can go through indenting for white space. Alright, and then just talk it over with me or someone else in the class if there's anything that needs to be changed. I'm going to click finish. It's time to share your project with the world, so do this. Click the share button at the top of this page, copy the URL. It gives you an email it to the people you want to see your page. Okay, so we're going to click share, and you're going to copy this, and you're going to go to, from Office, you can go to Outlook, and I want you to send this to me. You're going to click New, click New, and just type in Cynthia Hendricks. That's me. And then you can put whatever block it is, first block, second block, third block, whatever. So I'm just going to do fourth block website. Okay, that's for my subject. Click here, paste it, and I'm going to send. I'm just going to send it to myself, okay? So now when I receive it, I can click on the link and it'll take me to your page, okay? That's all you gotta do is email it to me. So I'm gonna come back to code, and I'm gonna click finish here. See, it's still white, even though you shared it, it's still white. I'm gonna click finish. And then you're going to take this survey and submit it. And then you will be done with lesson 9. So once you're done with everything, make sure you go to your notebook, and all of the pages in Unit 2, make sure everything's been completed, especially 6, 7, 8, and 9, all of the terms and definitions and things. Make sure all that's completed. If you have any questions, see me. Thank you.